I want this year to be New Year, samey but hottest higher version of me. Who's with me? Hello there, it's Kiss, and thank you for tuning in on Kiss to Shine. It's episode 2. If you're on YouTube and you haven't watched the first video, don't worry because it will pop up at the end of this video, so stick around. And I am in the hospital. I know. Long story. I know I haven't mentioned anything about New Year in my last video. It's because, to be honest, I filmed the video in July 2024. I know it took me that long to launch my podcast. Problem is that I kind of want things to be perfect before I put it out to the world. This year, that habit is something that I want to outgrow. I know everyone wants to be a New Year, new me, but for me, I don't believe that we have to change the person we are every year, but I do believe that we have to upgrade to be hotter, smarter, and a higher version of ourselves. So let's get into it. How do we upgrade ourselves? One thing that I learned this year is people can take so much things from you, but one thing they can't take from you is your knowledge. Try to swap those mindless scrolling time to something that could elevate your knowledge, your mindset. To be honest with you, I was not a big reader at all. I don't like to read because I have really short attention span. And what I did was, there's this one time I went to a bookstore and I just kind of forced myself to buy a book. It was fiction, and I started reading it and I got hooked. So since then, I just start buying books of the same genre. And then I slowly changed my habits to reading self-help books. And now, yes, I really love reading. I can't be separated with my books everywhere I go. That's a tip for you. Just choose any book that might pique your interest and just read. Any genre would do, just something that you're curious about. I know a few good self help books myself, so if you want to know some recommendation, you can leave it in the comment and I can suggest a book or two for you. If reading just doesn't suit you, that's alright. You can start listening to podcasts, but as long as you have the intention to upgrade your knowledge instead of doom scrolling or like playing games 24/7, you're already one step ahead of yourself. There's a lot of YouTube podcasts that could help you change your mindset and could help you understand things that you don't understand. I listen to my podcast everywhere I go, to the gym, for a walk, while I'm cooking. Sometimes I sleep to my podcast. Not my podcast, I mean like other podcasters that really inspires me. And that really changed my life, changed my mindset. When you say you want to work on yourself, it's not only working on your mental or your attitude, but also your physical. My mindset this year is if you can scroll TikTok for 30 minutes, you can also go for a 30-minute walk while scrolling TikTok. I know for some people, working out can quite be like a chore for you, but it doesn't have to be boring. Last year, I discovered pole dancing and burlesque, and it was such a fun way to move your body. It really radiates me into my feminine energy. I feel so sexy and empowered. You just need to find something that works for you, like Zumba or pickleball. Everyone is doing pickleball right now in Malaysia, and also probably Pilates. I love Pilates. For me, Pilates is like one thing that I will never stop. I really want to buy the reformer bed. Guys, you can get it like 3,000 ringgit. I just need to like settle down somewhere and I will buy it. Trust me, it will come soon. Also, this year I told myself to start running, and for someone who hated cardio, last few weeks before I was admitted to the hospital, I started running and I went for 25 minutes run. To be honest, running has been growing on me. You know, movement is not just about your body, it's about your mental state as well. So when you move your body, all your stress will be gone through the sweat. Like you will release a lot of endorphins, and when you release endorphins, it's a happy hormones obviously will make you feel so much lighter. If you just sit around in your house, do nothing, be a couch potato. I know, like I've been in this hospital for 3 days now, and I haven't had like proper walk. I feel like all the stress is like building up. That's why I just need to move my body every day. I also need to stress this out to you. Don't wait on people to take you out to all these classes and do these activities with you. Just go by yourself. And this year, we need to start taking ourselves out on dates and do whatever that makes you happy. Just do it alone. You don't have to wait on people. Just go on your own. When you date yourself, you'll get to connect with yourself even more. You will not depend on other people to make you happy. Last year, I decided to take myself out on my birthday for a solo trip to Morocco, and it's because every year I was hoping for someone to do something for me, like throw me a party or buy me presents. So last year I decided to like not expecting anything from anyone. I went to this desert in Morocco and I had like a retreat on my birthday. I even brought my own candles and I light up my breakfast, sang myself happy birthday song. That was the best birthday ever. Just so magical because you stop expecting what people gonna do for you and you just start doing it on your own and you know what to expect. You're capable of making yourself happy. You know that for sure. Being alone doesn't mean that you're lonely. It just means that you know how to love yourself and you're like getting to know yourself. Once you can master the art of loving yourself, everything else will fall into place. Look after your mindset, look after your physique, look after your looks. Take some time to pamper yourself every week. Sleep early, just never forget about your health. You don't have to buy all these expensive vitamins or like pay for therapy if you can't afford it. You can start with a very low maintenance, like pay attention of what you put in your body. Are you nourishing yourself or are you constantly putting junk in your body? Our skin change every 3 weeks, and imagine just eating junk food 3 weeks straight, you're just becoming junk food. Try to have more balanced diet. Indian does turmeric milk, so you can like go do some research what food intake you need to have a glowing skin or healthy hair, because everything starts from the inside. How you look starts from what you consume. Stress is also the big one. Some people just love stress. Like high cortisol can really mess up with your hormones. And when it messes up with your hormones, it could also lead to all other underlying things like weight gain, hair loss, and acne breakout. So you just need to watch out with the things that you've been dealing in your daily life and try to minimize your cortisol, avoid drama. I used to be that kind of person who would really love to vent to someone when every small things happen in my life without processing my emotion first. And I realized that it always backfires me because sometimes we have like some kind of expectation of how people react to our problems, and sometimes if people give their opinion that might clashing with your opinion, it would jeopardize your relationship with that person. When I started to go to therapy, my therapist introduced journaling for me. So since then, I've been starting to journal my emotions. And when you read that back, your brain could process that writing as if you are reading someone else's problem. So that really helped me a lot in seeing my problem from other perspective and see if my problem is really that big. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I was just being dramatic, and a little bit of drama is just a sprinkle in your life, so it's fine to have some drama. Don't worry about it. But the point is, dumping all of your emotions on a piece of paper will really, really help you to process your emotions. You will literally feel lighter, you'll get clarity, and you will definitely avoid saying things that you might regret in the time of heat. If you're like very angry to the person, you wouldn't be hurting anyone's feelings because you will be thinking from a better a better state of mind. This is such a great way to protect your peace and to keep your energy high. Imagine like dumping all your emotions to a person, and like it's very draining to that person, and how the person perceive you is also like, oh my god, she's again, like she's venting again. If you're the only one who vent to them every single day and drains them, you might be the energy vampire. That's why we want to avoid that as well. You don't want to be an energy vampire, don't you? Also, you need to know not everyone deserves your energy. If you're on the side where you listen to your friend venting all the time, you also need to know if she would listen to you when you need to vent. If they are treating you like an option and only look for you when they're in need of help, watch out for that. Because this type of people might only come to you when it's only convenient for them and not convenient for you. And we don't want a relationship to be one-sided, because that's just not how relationships should be. You just need to know how to invest your time to the right people and give your energy and time to the people who does the same for you. Like for me, I always tell myself, I always remind myself, don't entertain any meaningless connection and don't fall for the bare minimums. If you're single like me, you understand like how the dating world is, and sometimes when you're lonely and some people came around and you're like, oh cute, he's doing this and that to you, but apparently that's just bare minimum, and he's just breadcrumbing you. In the end, you would get hurt because you are investing more of your energy and time compared to how much he invested to you. You always need to remind yourself of your worth and just focusing on working on yourself, because I believe in God and He has a plan for you. He knows someone who is perfectly fit into your life. You just need to trust Him and be in your best frequency, because I also believe that you attract who you are. If you are at a very high frequency, you will attract people at a very high frequency as well. That is why it's so important to work on yourself before you get into dating. You also need to know being alone is not a bad thing. I learned a lot about myself by just being single for 5 years now, and it's just the most amazing thing ever. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to discharge soon. I just want to say thank you because I'm so happy reading all these comments from you on my first video. How it resonates with you is just amazing to receive all this kind of energy and really inspire me to make more videos. Remember, you don't have to change who you are this year. We just need to upgrade to the best, hotter, smarter version of ourselves. Keep shining. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.